Well, hello, bonjour. My name is Seth Martosh at Mundial Montreal with Tracks from Abroad, and I'm here today with Bruno Capinan. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good.
I'm great. You just had a very interesting and successful set performance. How are you feeling now after
High. I'm feeling high.
music is the drug of choice for you?
Yeah, it's like an adrenaline. I don't do drugs and I don't drink alcohol and I don't eat meat. So I'm a very clean person, but music, being on stage, the adrenaline just makes me high.
You have a very big stage presence with all your regalia and
Thank you.
headwear, jewelry. Where do you get inspired for all of that?
Usually nature, like watching nature. Like the outfit that I was wearing tonight, I wanted to look like a bird. So I told my stylist to make me look like a bird. So I had an idea. I want to wear a cape that can move, and then that's it. And then the headpiece, like the jewelry, I got so much custom made as well for me in Brazil.
Do you have a specific bird you like to emulate more than others?
A specific bird? Not really, just like every single bird.
Every single bird. Does your dancing is that inspired by nature as well and the way you move?
I think it's more inspired by candomblé, which is the Afro-Brazilian religion, like the movement. It's kind of a very Afro-Brazilian way of moving. So I think it's from like my childhood, when I used to go to carnival and then see the Afro blocos, they call it. It's like the parade. And the women, they used to dance like that, they still do. So yeah, I think I took from that.
What do you look for in a collaborator for your music?
Ooh, that's a hard question. Um, I don't know. You never know until you meet someone that clicks. Like usually someone who is easy and soft, as a human being. I don't like anyone who is like very forceful, like tell me like you have to do this, you have to do that. I collaborate with a Japanese composer called Jumiaki. He wrote the music score for Pina, the documentary. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a documentary movie that won the Oscars, and he heard me on a French radio, and then he asked his team to invite me to ask me if I wanted to collaborate with him and perform with him. And we did some shows with Sakamoto as well. Um, and as a Japanese composer, his songs are very intricate, not that easy to write lyrics on top. So every time that he sends me something, it's already like a whole song that it's like done. You just have to put lyrics and your voice on top of it. And usually, when I get the song, I think that it'd be impossible for me to write lyrics for it. And I get so scared and petrified of the idea of saying, I'm sorry, I failed. But I usually listen to it, leave it for a few days, and then I'll go back, and that's it. So this is my album number 6, and it's called Tarahara. There's the title here, Tarahara. And it was released last year, 2022. And it's my first non binary album, I would say. It touches on, you know, the subject of being um, able to just be something else that you people perceive you as not being. So Tara comes from is the female or the female energy of Buddha in Buddhism. And when I realized that I could also be that version because when I was a kid, my father nicknamed me Buddha. And when I realized that it could also be something else, it just made sense. It just like it all came together. I could also be Tara, you know? So yeah, it's a very Brazilian. I think it's my most Brazilian album of them all, and it was produced by an Ukrainian Brazilian producer, and she was 17 years old when she produced this. Vivian Kuzinski. Yeah, very young at the time. We started recording, producing in 2021 in a window of time during the pandemic that was allowed to go to studio. And yeah, very proud of it. Yeah.
What's uh what's your standout track on this album for you?
Oh, Comigo Now.
Okay.
That's like my favorite.
Yeah.
I didn't perform it tonight. But yeah, that's like the one that I like the most.
And what does it mean for you to be part of the LGBTQ community in from Brazil and in Canada as well?
Um, a lot of responsibility, because it's like I'm aware of the political aspect of it. I'm just being myself, but at the end of the day, whatever I do or whoever I am gets politicized by other people. So I know that whatever I do, I'm doing for others as well that can follow my footsteps. Um, so it just feels right, like I don't think about it, I just am. I don't think I'm responsible for to carry that on my shoulders as well, but it just if upsets people, I'm in. I love upsetting people.
And who has been an inspiration for you in terms of being able to be yourself and express yourself in the most unique way possible?
First one I would say Nina Simone. Very inspired by Nina Simone. James Baldwin, the writer. Lassa de Sela, who was from Montreal. Mexican American, born in Mexico, moved to Italy, moved everywhere, moved to Montreal, released albums here, and then passed away about 13 years ago, I think. She was like I don't know, my icon, like the one that I was most inspired by when I moved to Canada. And Bjork as well. Brazilian, I like Caetano Veloso, Gilberto Gil, João Gilberto. I usually listen to Brazilian music the most. So yeah.
Amazing. What can you tell us about coming to Canada and about the Latin music scene in Toronto?
My label in Canada is Lula World Records. I perform at the Lula Lounge many times. It feels like home and a community. I moved to Canada in 2002, the first time. Became a refugee, and then my case was denied. I had to leave the country, and then I came back to the country again. So my relationship with Canada is being of love and confusion. And when I became Canadian in 2014, that's when I became Canadian. I didn't feel like I had the need to celebrate. I wasn't very like, yay, I'm Canadian, because I think Canada is the best country when it comes to embracing people from everywhere. And at the time, I didn't feel fully embraced because of that one bureaucratic thing that you had to have, a citizenship. And my life was in Canada. Like I couldn't see myself being anywhere else. Like as home is Canada. Even though I'm Brazilian, when I go back to Brazil, I feel like I'm home. But I'm always coming back to this place, to Canada. And the Latin community in Canada, it needs to be better embraced, I would say, by Canadians, especially white Canadians. But yeah, it's growing. I hope that I can be a contributor to that community.
I think you definitely are. Well, Bruno, thank you so much for spending the time to talk with us, and I wish you luck at the. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, you did a great job. Amazing. You're listening to Tracks from Abroad on CIUT 89.5 FM, and we'll be back with more interviews at Mundial Montreal.
Eu sou Bruno Capinan e vocês estão ouvindo Tracks from Abroad at CIUT Rádio CIUT.